So number three is hyper independence. What is that? What does that even mean? Ow, I had a car crash yesterday, my neck's all crooked. So hyper independence, what is it? Hyper independence is a trauma response, a trauma reaction. We discussed trauma reactions in number two. This is number three. So this is a term that it's toxic that you just do everything for yourself. And I'd like to delve deeper into both sides of what hyperindependence can feel like and what it can look like. What it looks like from the outside. So you may know somebody who doesn't like accepting help, who makes it fucking difficult, who, when they're sitting there bleeding out and you're saying, "Can I make you a cup of tea?" They're like, "No, I can do it." And when you know they need something, but they don't ask, like, for God's sake, they're so stupid. Why don't they just ask? When when someone is actually being quite rude and like stropping about the place, a bit passive aggressive because they're doing something that's hurting them, because they're desperate for you to offer, but you know that even if you offer, they'll probably tell you to stick it. That's what it can look like. And it'd be so infuriating because they'll want you to guess what they want, and yet if you guess it even slightly wrong, they'll think that you've let them down, and you'll feel like you've let them down. Then if you get it right and you do guess what they need, then they will feel less than, and then they might go into some kind of like sadness and depression. So when you are coping with somebody with hyperindependence, it can feel futile. But here's what's going on the other side. That person has felt so utterly left and so abandoned that they don't even trust the good stuff anymore. They don't trust that when someone shows up, they're going to stay showing up. And so they are going to push you away until you go, "Right, I'm going." So that person is so unsure and uncertain that not only that the people they pick will stick with them, that they're even deserving or worthy of that. And they're so afraid of not meeting their own needs. They're so afraid of being less than, and being vulnerable literally causes them pain, because being vulnerable and asking for help is the most unsafe thing that person can do. So if you can imagine, if you're dealing with someone like this, that when for them to ask for help takes literally every single thing they have got, and sometimes they'll throw it back in your face, but it's not about you. Don't take it personally. And if you love that person, whether that's your daughter, whether that's your lover, whoever she might be, if you love her, give her time. Tell her it's okay, and don't take her lashing out personally. She is scared. She is scared that she's going to be left. She is scared that if she asks you to do something, and then you'll just go, "No, that's too much. You're too much." She is scared of being too much, and she is scared of not being enough. So if you are this person, if you are someone who worries and struggles so much, take a breath. You're okay. I gotcha, right? But this does need to be sorted if you want to have any kind of deep connection and relationship, because there's only so much people are going to be able to take. And yes, you will prove yourself right. You will prove yourself right if you keep pushing people. If you keep pushing people away and not letting people help you, not letting people in, eventually they will go. And not because you can't trust anybody, but because everybody has their limit. Everybody. And you actually have a responsibility to do something different. You are an adult now, and whatever you have gone through is shit, right? It might be shit. You might not even, you might not even know what you've been through to cause this. But if you are doing this, if you can see, yeah, do you know what? I get really irate when someone doesn't do what I want them to, but I haven't asked them to do it. Oh, but then actually, if I do ask them to do it, they might not do it anyway. And then I love somebody, but actually, I don't really want their help. And if they do offer to help me, I just feel offended. If you've got all of this in a dialogue going on, then you have a responsibility, not only to the people you live with, but to your future self, to the version of you who wants to be happy in a relationship, to love and be loved. And it's very difficult to love somebody and to stay with somebody. You can love somebody with hyper independence, but to stay with them is so fucking difficult. So if you want to your future self to have different connections and different relationships. You deserve, and you need to take responsibility for understanding, and to that you can do something about this, and that actually you need to do something. This isn't about anybody else, it's about you. And if you want your life to look different, if you want to be able to relax, to put your feet up and not feel guilty and not feel resentful to anybody else who does have a day off. I mean, how often do you, like, you're with somebody and they go, oh, I'm just going to go to the spa. You're like, what the fuck are you going to go? I don't go for a spa. You're like, well, you never asked. How often do you resent people for having days off, for having a nice time? I bet you resent your partner for, like, doing things for themselves just because you haven't. Fucking awful. So you need to sort this out. And you need to get in touch with me if you are ready to sort this out.